What is going on, guys? Joey Franzo here with Flex Training Systems. I wanted to get this video out fast, so there's no gameplay or anything in front of you, just a bunch of pictures, like we did back in the OG days when I had ideas and I needed to crank them out quickly. The foundation in which this channel was built. What the heck is built? Built upon that and Coach's Corners. What the hell am I talking about today? Yes. No other way. Sometimes there's no other way. So, what the fuck am I talking about? Yesterday, I went through a situation with one of my lifters that has this very strange sort of chronic injury that comes up occasionally in the same place over time, and it brought up. This is the second time it's happened, and it brought up a bunch of different thoughts. A lot of it having to do with kind of genetics and the different types of things that people are going to have to go through in this sport, and how it can vary from others, which is why comparing is dumb. If you guys saw my story from yesterday, you already know what I'm referring to. Well, it was vague, but I kind of gave you guys a little preview. So the meat and potatoes of this video, what am I talking about? So when I was trying to help her through it and kind of explain to her what was going on, and initially, this is kind of a difficult thing to talk about, just in terms of it being mildly complicated. When we get an injury, right? There's some sort of an injury. Typically, the way I like to approach certain types of things is like identify what kind of injury it is, and then we know kind of like our timeline, and then we can kind of plan for that. If it's a one-time strain, then we just lay off of it, let it heal, and you can pretty much go back to normal, and it's as if nothing happened. It may never happen again. Usually when there's a strain or something like that, you either got loose or there's some sort of weakness that needs to be addressed. And then over time, the stronger you get, you just don't get hurt anymore, especially in that area. Injuries are a very genetic thing. Some people are going to get injured more often than others. Some people are never going to get injured. And I mean, even in sports, how many amazing talents do we see that are just injury prone? You know what I mean? So like when people get hurt, their mind starts to go to, I need to find a thing. I need to find a solution for this injury, for this problem, right? Sometimes there are exercises and things that you can do that can, help you get through it, kind of strengthen the area, open certain things up, make it so that you can move correctly. Maybe you're super tight and you're not moving right because things are bound. So in that sense, there are certain things that you can do that I think are going to help. But with some people in the sport of powerlifting, right? My dogs are barking, so I apologize. In the sport of powerlifting, the competition squat with your hip below the knee, that is not a normal thing. With maximal load, that is not a normal thing. That's not a normal thing for humans, right? Some people are going to be able to do that, lift to a generic standard, and it's kind of arbitrary. It's like something that we just decide this is the way that it's got to be done. Some people can do that much easier than others, right? And some people, while being able to do that, they're going to have hip pain. Their knees are going to hurt. Their ankles are going to hurt. Their calves are going to get tight. Their back is going to get fucked up. Like, there's a lot of different things that go into it. And some people are going to just naturally be fantastic squatters, right? Me coming up, I originally, I would say my depth was a little iffy. I strained my hips really, really bad in the beginning trying to squat to depth. And then I was just fine, and I can always hit depth. And then now my depth is like, I don't even think about it. The leaner I get, the more obvious my depth is. I think that's the case with most people. But I don't really think about my depth. I just train myself to make sure that I can hit it all the time. And I think I'm very lucky in a sense that that's the way that I'm built. Whereas other people are going to try really, 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 really hard. They're going to do everything right. and they're still not going to be able to hit depth convincingly. It's literally going to depend on the type of judge they get. Or they might sacrifice a ton of poundage to do that, you know? They're not even going to ever show, you know, maybe they can hit more if they're like an inch high, you know what I'm saying? But then it's like, do we even care about it at that point? For bodybuilding purposes, you're good, you know what I'm saying? If you're getting full ramen, you physically can't go lower, but if you need to kind of do something weird to get lower. Some people can't really hit depth without some butt wink. It's like not possible for them to hit depth without some butt wink. If you don't believe so, then I don't think you've worked with enough people or seen enough, because I promise you, some people can do it perfectly. I would say more people have some form of butt wink than not. Especially, you know, as deep as we need to get for comp, right? Same thing with the deadlift. Some people are going to be natural deadlifters. Some people, there's no other way but to struggle through it. It's going to be hard for them, right? It's just going to be hard for them. That lift is going to be hard for them. There are ways to optimize things and make your situation better than others, but there's always going to be, I think deadlift, believe it or not, is a little bit easier than the other two. Like on the bench, some people are never going to be able to arch like significantly to the point where they're going to get any kind of benefit. They just can't do it. They don't have it. You literally don't have it, right? You just don't have it. And that's something that you need to accept and understand. I always say that muscle trumps everything. If you can build enough muscle, if you have the potential to build enough muscle, you may not be built for a lift, but you might do pretty well at it, right? So going back to the injury and the situation that I was dealing with some people, lifting to a competition standard is going to cause some injuries that are related to powerlifting, right? Maybe if you had not decided to do powerlifting, you would never experience said injury, clearly, right? But that's boring, right? We want to be strong. We want to be jacked. We want to be good at it. So we decided to do powerlifting, and then over time, a specific area starts to get pissed, right? You guys remember when Russ hurt his back? Before I even started working with Russ, he hit like every think of every lifter as like a character in a video game, right? And everybody has like a weakness or like potential weakness or something. I would say back then, Russ's back, you know, his back was a little, I think he missed the Nationals because of it. I remember he told me briefly there was more to it, but I don't remember. But, you know, he had that 2017 Nationals, killed it. A little bit later, before the Arnold, strained his back. So strong, still did put up a good Arnold. Only people that Wilkes more than him was Ray Williams and Kelly Branton, which probably would have fucking happened anyway because they're super heavyweights. Now we got this new formula. Who knows how that works? But, I mean, I know how it works. It's just, I don't know if it's the best way to go about it. But, you know, then at Worlds, he had his back was giving him weird things, and we had to be kind of really conservative, tiptoeing around it. And now that's behind him. You guys saw him hit 700. You guys see his deadlift. He fucking, what did he hit? 715, 725? You know, once this is the thing. Powerlifting is going to expose a weakness or expose some sort of, I truly believe it all boils down to some sort of a weakness and not moving correctly. And then once you can move correctly and strengthen that area, you're not going to get hurt. You're just not going to get hurt. Assuming programming is competent and we, you know, prioritize recovery and things like that, you're not going to get hurt. But I also feel that sometimes you're just going to have to go through it a few times and the body just figures it out. And it's like the weirdest thing. You know, I used to strain my pecs so bad and I do nothing differently now, and I don't strain my pecs. Isn't that weird? I do nothing different. I don't do mobility. I don't even warm up really. I just go in and, I mean, I do the bar, and I'll just keep doing lighter weights until I feel comfortable to go up. On bench. On squats, I rarely ever change my warm-up. On deadlift, I make sure to stretch my back a bit before I go and get a little bit warm, but I'm very minimal when it comes to my warm-ups, right? And I feel great. Like, honestly, I feel like I have the least amount of, aches and pains. I get more fucked up from going to Disneyland with my now fiance, right? That sounds so weird to say. My forever person, whatever you guys want to call it. What is acceptable in today's more society? You know what I mean? It's just so weird to me. I just call her my person, my girl, why am I on this still? I get more fucked up going to Disneyland fucking walking around for 2 days. Honestly, standing in the same spot for 1 hour is hard. Like that shit hurt. I'm still recovering from it. And that was 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I also got to lose weight, but we got to hit a big total first. That screws me up way more than powerlifting. Powerlifting does not hurt me. Bodybuilding movements, I'm pretty much, the only things that I try to avoid are single leg things, just because I've had a history of, pain with my hips on offset things. But yeah, like pretty much, I don't really do much, and I don't have any pain, and I know there's a lot of top lifters that are the same way. I never, when I heard something, I never think I need to do this thing to fix it. I just need to make sure that I was moving right, that I could hit the lift heavy under load, in the plane of motion that I need to move for powerlifting standards, without a joint getting fucked up or putting stress on a tendon or anything weird like that. You know what I mean? So the moral of the story is, right, and the point of this video is that sometimes there's no other way. You're just gonna deal with injuries. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna deal when you start pushing hard. I know that when I start pushing hard, when you do what you need to do in order to, going back to kind of the specific case, I said the word chronic. Chronic training needs to be chronic, right? Training is a chronic thing. So sometimes when you're training chronically, there can be irritation, tightness, pain. Tightness is a result of chronic fucking work, right? If you bench every day, I guarantee you, your 5th day in a row benching in a row, you're going to probably have some pec tightness, potentially. 6th, 7th day, whatever, right? If you pull every day, your back is going to hate you, Might be your knees if you do sumo, same thing with squat. So when you're pushing, you're really pushing that body, you're gaining momentum, you're getting stronger. Sometimes chronic things come up. And like for me, I know for competition, I do really well. This is a bad example because I'm saying no other way. That's kind of like an absolute thing. There's workarounds. There are ways to make less progress in order to compromise with longevity, right? But sustainability is super important. If you guys purchase the Strength and Muscle pyramid books that are found in the description below, you guys will hear an entire section on. Sorry, you guys will be able to read an entire section on that. But that's another video. You guys get what I'm talking about. Sometimes like powerlifting, I guess in a sense, powerlifting is going to be hard and you're going to feel some pain, and there's no way around it. There's literally no way around it. Some people are going to experience less than others. Squatting to depth might be a fucking nightmare. I've gone through so much shit trying to get people to squat to depth to the point where they just want to quit. They just don't even want to do it anymore because it is so painful and stressful for them. And they have anxiety about hitting, they go to the gym and they hit a PR, but now they're questioning their depth, and now they don't feel good about the PR anymore, and they're like, fuck, man, I'm giving all this effort, I'm trying so hard, maybe I'm not meant for this. I've heard so many people say that, maybe I'm not meant for this. And, you just have to understand that it's going to come with ups and downs. There's going to be a way around it. If there's a will, there's a way. If there's a will to get through the fucking bullshit and whatever ailment or problem that you have, you'll get through it. If you want to be a great powerlifter, I believe everybody can be decent at powerlifting, regardless of everything, your genetics and all that. And, you just, whether it's, for me, it was my knees for a long time. My left knee would give me hell. My back from football was giving me hell. You guys that have been here from the beginning, you guys know I went through some shit. I got through all of it, and now I love going to the gym. I space things out in a way to where I can recover enough so that when I come in the gym, I don't feel like shit all the time. There are times when it does happen, but that's okay. I listen to my body. I take a deload if I need to, and I keep it rolling. And that's how we, get big squats and things like that. So there are going to be some obstacles, injuries, things that are going to happen chronically from training, but I believe you can get through them. You can't compare to others because some people are going to have to deal with shit a lot easier or harder than you are. And yeah, guys, if you made it this far, let me get a time stone. #time stone. right? Because when Doctor Strange said there's no other way, that's when he gave Thanos the time stone right after, or just before that. In the comments below, thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.